The next problem is a complex fraction. There's a couple of ways of handling it. In intermediate algebra, I tend to have the numerator over common denominator, the numerator over common denominator, then you invert and multiply. And the common denominator of the numerator is x squared. So this is going to be easy enough to multiply the numerator here by x squared. And what I'm going to be left with is 4x squared over x squared plus 1 over x squared, which is 4x squared plus 1 over x squared. The common denominator of the denominator is also x squared, so x squared over x squared. So I get 3x squared over x squared minus 1 over x squared. And that's going to give me 3x squared minus 1 over x squared. And now I just invert and multiply. And so what we have is 4x squared plus 1 over x squared times x squared over 3x squared minus 1. X squareds cancel out. You're left with 4x squared plus 1 over 3x squared minus 1. There is a second way of handling this problem, and that's to find the LCD of the whole. Which means that if I look at the numerator, the LCD of the numerator is just x plus 1. And if I look at the denominator, the LCD of the denominator is just x, so that the LCD of the whole thing is x times x plus 1. Now, what you do is that you're going to multiply by 1, but a very special one. And in this case, I'm going to multiply by x times x plus 1 over 1, x times x plus 1 over 1. Using the distributive property, I'll get 1 times x times x plus 1 over 1 minus x times x plus 1, and this is x over x plus 1. And in the denominator, I'll get 2 times x plus 1 over 1 minus x minus 1 over x times x plus 1. And again, this is over 1 for both of them. Now what you'll notice is, when I did this, the x plus 1s will cancel in the numerator. And then what I'm going to, and the fraction collapses down onto itself, because now all of the denominators are 1. I get 1 times x plus 1, or x times x plus 1, minus the x plus 1's canceled, so I'm just left with x times x, or x squared. In the denominator, the x's will cancel. So I'm going to be left with 2x times x plus 1 minus the product of x minus 1 times x plus 1. Now all I have to do is to simplify. X times x is x squared plus x minus x squared in the numerator, and in the denominator I have 2x squared plus 2x minus the product of x minus 1 times x plus 1, which is just x squared minus 1. X squared here add to 0, so I get an x in the numerator. Denominator, I have a 2x squared plus 2x minus x squared plus 1, or x over 2x squared minus x squared is just x squared plus 2x plus 1. Now that's a perfectly good answer, and what your book would do is it would write it as x over, this is x plus 1, the quantity squared. But either answer would be correct. So depended upon what you were going to do with it next. So either one is fine.